What's going on, world? What's going on, Japan? Gamers, Assassin's Creed fans. So, we got some new information here by Destin, and you guys are going to like this. He really gives us a deep insight about what's really going on at Ubisoft and how investors in France are pissed and how they're going to want to fight for the company to stay French and not sell out to China. But as we dig deeper into this video, we're going to find out some other things that are very interesting about another company that was selling stuff to China from France and kind of betrayed France. And at the beginning of this video, there's some humorous stuff, so you'll get some good laughs for this. So yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think. We're gonna react along the way with this. We got some really key facts here. Stick around pretty much to the end of the video. This is some very important stuff about Ubisoft, what they're doing with their IPs and Assassin's Creed, and how, of course, the stock is being manipulated and not on an accident. So let's go ahead and dive into this.
I've given Ubisoft a hard time over the years, even as far back as in 2007. One of my first videos was making fun of their TMNT release on the 360.
The new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the Xbox 360. It's pretty much worthless. But if you break your Call of Duty 4 game case, then you can use this one as a replacement. Tubular, dude! Thanks for another quality product, Ubisoft.
Don't worry, I'm still not very funny. And neither are the numbers Ubisoft has been putting up lately. Prince of Persia was mid, Skull and Bones was a quadruple A flop, and Star Wars Outlaws, well, it was a flop. And the crazy thing is those three flops come after a few good hits. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, mega hit. In February 2024, Ubisoft even reported that Assassin's Creed Mirage successfully harnessed the strength of the Assassin's Creed brand to deliver a back-to-the-roots experience, including
That's why I want to play that game one day. I still haven't gotten to it.
the return of fan-favorite gameplay. Mirage did so well that it literally made the entire Assassin's Creed brand overperform for the company. And this was a time when Rainbow Six was doing well, they were hyped about Avatar, the crew was popping off, so that leaves one question in my mind. How the hell do you go from that in February to some investors calling for the CEO on a plate and a potential buyout from Tencent? Let's talk about all that, but first, let's talk about support. If you
Yep, pretty much.
are looking for something that has more support than, say, the Ubisoft investors have right now, consider buying a FlexiSpot OC6 chair with a Y-shaped high-density foam lumbar support that can support up to 500 pounds of weight. Also, the E6 standing desk can raise or lower its position, and just like Ubisoft stock, it can go extremely low or shoot up with the press of a button, sort of like how Ubisoft stock shot up when the news of a takeover leaked via Bloomberg. One difference being that the desk raises and lowers quite smoothly. And unlike Ubisoft's ability to pivot to something profitable, the E6 desk comes with 4 wheels that allow easy repositioning and movement should your layout need a bit of a change. The desk can handle 325 pounds of impact, is very durable, and it comes with a 15-year warranty, which coincidentally is a longer period of time than Ubisoft's last attempted takeover. FlexiSpot has sponsored this channel several times, and I really do like their desks. If you'd like to consider one of these desks for yourself, check out the link in the description below. So about that takeover remark, that seems like a good place to start. The year was 2015, and Vivendi was looking to get its hook into a new venture. It set its eyes on Ubisoft, and using some tactics Yves Guillemot considered unwelcome, according to Wikipedia.
So these are the people he's talking about. Let's go ahead and look into them. Vivendi. Okay, let's go down here. A French mass media holding company headquartered in Paris. It owns Group Channel Canal, Havas. So these are all French stuff. 10.5 billion revenue last year. Okay, so these are the people buying it. They're headquartered in France. Founded in 1853, so they've been around a while. Do they have any games? Okay. Los Angeles, they have a gaming section. Parent organizations, Activision Blizzard. Why am I not surprised? Los Angeles, California. And the CEO, this guy. Okay. So it's a little bit about them.
They
Okay.
had managed to garner a 10.4% stake in the company. A
10?
hostile takeover seemed imminent. Because Ubisoft is a French company, it only takes acquiring over 30% of shares for the company to be forced to extend an offer because it's like a French law or something like that. Anyway, that's exactly what happened with Gameloft, another company owned by the Guillemots, and Vivendi bought them. Guillemots out. That was it. To combat a takeover by Vivendi, who had purchased 25.15% of Ubisoft stock by December 2016, the Guillemots asked for help from investors in Canada beefing up their own stock holdings.
So this is very important, y'all. They almost hit that 30%, which is a French law, as you hear him say. So they were asking for help. So they started to get attacked big time in 2016. This is a very interesting point right here, because watch what these guys do here. It says right here, Ubisoft chief resists Vivendi's creeping control.
They even had to fight off giving Vivendi a place on the board during this time, and they were successful there. But reports were still coming out in 2017 that said Vivendi was likely to take over Ubisoft by the end of the year. To combat this, the Guillemot family bought back 4 million shares, and they did that with the help of an investment services provider to hold Vivendi off. Vivendi decided to hold off and in 2018 struck a deal to end any kind of takeover. Who did Vivendi sell those shares to? Tencent. That will
Wow. Do we know what that means? Yeah, I think we do. Chinese Communist Party. So that says a lot why they were being aggressive even back then before they sold the shares to them. That means that they were behind Vivendi and they were betraying their own land. This says a lot about what's going on right now with Tencent too. So this is why this is a very important key future, everybody. Think about that. That right there was not told by anyone. That's a very interesting piece of information, which I think is pretty damn important.
be important later. And more importantly, if you've liked the video this far, be sure to consider hitting subscribe, hit that bell to know when notifications go live, especially if you've enjoyed the content this far. By March 2019, Vivendi was completely out of the picture. Well, mostly. 2019 onward would see Ubisoft have success with Far Cry, Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed franchises, but it would also see them rapidly expand, potentially too much. In mid-2019, they had 16,000 developers on staff and were dropping 5 to 6 AAA games a year, but the sales needed to staff 16,000 people weren't there.
Jesus.
And in 2020, they had to do some reorganizing. That's code word for laying people off in the game world. And let's not forget that there were several sexual misconduct accusations leveled at Ubisoft around this time in 2020, which led to internal investigations. Those investigations
Yeah, a lot of people were hit with that. A lot of companies. That doesn't surprise me in those type of worlds.
revealed behavior that led to firings and quiet exits from several top executives. In the same year, they also decided to stop focusing on AAA games and focus on mobile, which we know has bombed for them. But 2021 was a really interesting year. After announcing they would be making a Star Wars game, they received some renewed interest from financiers. They also announced their Quartz blockchain program in December of that year, and everyone hated it. In 2022, they started canceling stuff, a Splinter Cell VR game, Ghost Recon Frontline, and 2 other games that were not yet announced. And while they seemed to be unable to get out of their own way, Tencent was quietly dropping another £300 million into Guillemot Brothers Limited, which is the company that owns Ubisoft. Yves and Tencent were becoming BFFs, with Tencent holding 49.9% of the Guillemot family company by 2022.
So that's way past the 30%. This gives you the reason, definitely seeing what Vivendi did too. So you can kind of see it's still in favor of the Chinese Communist Party if we think about them selling out to Tencent and them being able to buy them out and their stock going down. We starting to get the picture now. So it wasn't that they were struggling to make these games. They were doing this shit on purpose. They were dumping us mediocre games on purpose. That's a damn shame.
And Yves Guillemot himself even said that they'd be working closely together with Tencent. Now, they didn't release a lot in 2022, correct me if I'm wrong, but Wikipedia doesn't really list anything for that year. 2023 is where it all kind of falls apart for Ubisoft. They canceled more games, announced more flops, and told more employees that they needed to take responsibility for the company's upcoming projects. They did this while reducing staff from 20,279 to 19,410. They had more layoffs in November and more layoffs in March of
That's a
2024.
lot of
Now
people.
2024 is where things got really bad. Skull and Bones, Ubisoft's first quadruple A game, flopped hard. Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora fell short of investor expectations. And the big one, Star Wars Outlaws, sold so poorly that Ubisoft released an emergency press blast to investors promising to make it better, release it and all future games on Steam, and they delayed Assassin's Creed Shadows, which had been mired in controversy for months. That's where
Oh, don't forget, dude, the Call of Duty competitor right here was supposed to do really good. If y'all didn't know, it's like all these games. This is another game that launched this year, May 21st, 2024. It started off well, but it didn't last, and they were making stupid mistakes. So that's what I mean. They have so many IPs, it doesn't make any sense. This company should not be failing like this. This is how you knew something was wrong. Like it wasn't an accident, it was a scheme for China to take over and get all those IPs and put it underneath its belt. It's like, can you do something honorable, please? I don't respect it. Definitely when you're attacking the gaming world to benefit your ego and scheme and take other people's stuff and then put a bunch of microtransactions on it, like you do with gacha games. Like I'm not with that. Now, if I see something like Wukong or something like any other games that are coming out relevant to that, I can respect that because you're actually developing a video game. But this type of stuff they're doing, no.
where we are at today, but it gets even juicier. But let's rewind to July for a second. Ubisoft said the gameplay we presented for our two highly anticipated upcoming premium titles, Star Wars Outlaws and Assassin's Creed Shadows, was not only praised by players and critics alike, but also highlighted the cutting-edge capabilities of our game engines. And in September, they literally had an emergency press release that announced Star Wars Outlaws failed to meet expectations, that Assassin's Creed Shadows was delayed until February, and that all their games would come to Steam in the future. So why the sudden change of heart? Basically, the investors had enough. At the beginning of the month, AJ Investments sent an open letter to Yves Guillemot and the board of directors asking.
So check out what this investor says right here. And the French are pissed off because you got to think about the good aspect of them just being crapped on. I mean, this year, speaking of French, it's just been absolutely embarrassing. But that's what happens when you get in bed with these wrong entities. They'll destroy your whole nation. We all know about it. It's happening right now everywhere. I mean, look at what happened with Britain. That's not good.
Asking for his head. They said the company is undervalued, that current management was not it, and that they wanted the company to go private. Something Ubisoft is actively considering right now, but more on that in just a moment. AJ Investments doesn't own a huge stake in the company, but everyone listened this time, which I believe is a big reason the emergency press release went out. Here are some choice quotes from the AJ Investments letter that I found interesting. Ubisoft at current state is mismanaged and shareholders are hostages of Guillemot family members and Tencent who take advantage of them.
See, we knew this. Remember what I've been telling people, even in my old Assassin's Creed videos. Mafia invasion. And you see, it's an invasion. It's a hostile. It's a boot camp now. It's slavery. Hostage of the family and Tencent, China Communist Party.
In our view, investors should begin to reward efforts to refocus development efforts towards core IPs and address glaring cost inefficiencies in financial year 25. Code word for layoffs again. We suggest that Ubisoft allow shareholders to vote for new CEO and allow sale of the business to PE Group or let the Guillemot-led consortium to buy out minorities for fair price. We believe that the Guillemot family and Tencent are discounting potential value of Ubisoft in order to buy more shares at lower valuation and eventually take full control of the company at heavily discounted valuation. They basically accuse the Guillemot family of purposefully releasing subpar content so that they can buy shares at a discount. They're pissed. They point out that Ubisoft is bloated as they are almost
They're not the only ones that are pissed. You got a lot of people that are pissed off. Japan's pissed off. We're pissed off. Assassin's Creed fans are pissed off. Gamers are pissed off in general because this type of behavior is now trying to invade everywhere and do this. And it's just not a good look for Tencent, and it's not a good look for China trying to come into the gaming industry the way they're coming into. It's not a good look, like I said, when you go to the Communist, Jewish, far left Democratic Party, they're all doing the same thing, all godless behavior, very shameful and dishonorable. I mean, yeah, it's just annoying.
Twice the size of any other company. Companies such as EA, Take-Two, and Activision Blizzard have much higher revenues and profitability with lower staff and studio talent. Despite having fewer blockbuster titles, Ubisoft employs over 17,000 staff compared to EA's 1,100, Take-Two's 7,500, and Activision Blizzard's 9,500. And all the companies they list had net profits in the millions or billions, while Ubisoft lost $60 million in 2023.
They're gonna lose a lot more this year, way more. And EA can just sit there and live off of sports and do stupid stuff and get away. They're a lot more wiser than Ubisoft.
What did they want done? Well, they want the Guillemets to sell. They want a mass reduction of staff. They want a refocus on the titles we all love. Titles like Rainbow Six Siege, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Watch Dogs, and Tom Clancy titles such as Splinter Cell.
And Rayman, come on, man. I'm a longtime Rayman fan. They haven't given me a new Rayman in a while. I loved Rayman Legends. Like, just annoys me.
Should be prioritized and cherished, ensuring they maintain their market-leading position. And they want the CEO out, along with other management that led to this failure. And if Ubisoft didn't do anything, well, they basically said that if 60 days pass and they don't see any changes, that they will work with the French government and fight for it to happen anyway. Like I said, they're pissed.
Yeah, so the French are going to fight for them to remain French. They don't want them to sell out to the Chinese Communist Party. So we could see this right here, like big time. But it's going to be a battle, and we're going to find out what's going to happen. It's going to be interesting what's going to be going on in Ubisoft for the next 6 months. I mean, they're the damn controversy topic of the year, I swear.
So what happened? Well, I do think Ubisoft is going to sell, and there have been two reports that claim this is well underway. The first, from Bloomberg, claimed that the company was looking to sell to Tencent. This caused their stock value to increase by 30%. And
man, please don't sell, but God, it's going to be annoying.
A statement to Eurogamer, they didn't even try to hide it, saying Ubisoft has noted recent press speculation regarding potential interests around the company. It regularly reviews all its strategic options in the interest of its stakeholders and will inform the market if and when appropriate. The statement continues, the company reiterates that management is currently focused on executing its strategy centered on two core verticals, open world adventures and games as a service, native experiences. Yeah, they have an offer. Like I said at the top, I've poked fun at Ubisoft over the years, but this really does feel like the end of an era. And when Ubisoft is cooking, they have managed to make some of the best games ever made.
Yeah.
Splinter Cell is a personal favorite. The Ezio trilogy, the original Assassin's Creed games like Black Flag, Rainbow Six Siege at its peak. But no company can go from releasing almost nothing in 2022, having a decent year in 2023, and then literally blowing your entire war chest on a bunch of games that gamers literally told you were not ready. And reports are saying that devs have been saying the same thing about games like Star Wars Outlaws that needed a delay, and Assassin's Creed, which also was delayed after they started listening. At least we got one of the delays, but the hate for Assassin's Creed Shadows Online, it's unavoidable. It's on their own channels. It's on every social media platform, and some of it is justified. Even if I'm excited about Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I'm partially excited because people are so mad about it, there's a chance that this game, the
You troll.
one that put them on the map, could ultimately be their downfall. Now, if you've played Assassin's Creed, you know you actually play as some guy in the future who uses the Animus to...
So the rest of this video, he just talks about stuff like that and other stuff. But we've seen enough. Like, subscribe, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. Can't believe he's not talking about Rayman, bro. Rayman Legends was amazing. What did it get meta-wise? Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean, man. Dude, I'm telling you, man. They used to be way better. I don't understand, man. They had a lot of 90 meta games, but yeah. Glad to give y'all this information. It's a lot to talk about. Like I said, comment, Subscribe, like, let me know what y'all think. This is huge stuff right here because now we have an even more clear picture. I told you I would get to the heart of the truth and cover everything. And if you haven't checked out my coverage on Assassin's Creed controversy, I have a whole archive library for y'all to look at. There we have it. All right, y'all. Later.